I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from the Nashville Superspeedway. Up front will be the Mark Nelson and Jared Heasley. Kyle Holden and Richie Johnson on the second row. Michael White and Kevin Reed on the third row. AJ Gonsi and Gerald Poole on the fourth row. Jeff Hinkle and JR Tanksley rounding out the top 10. DP Riggins starts in 11th next to Richie West in 12th. DJ the Iceman Kenner in 13th. Albie Hewins in 14th. Mark the Man Dantuma in 15th. Rick Surgeon in 16th. Brandon Springer starts 17th. And Donald Durant's rounding out the 18-car field here at the Nashville Superspeedway. And the beautiful unicorn, Angie James, dropping in, cheering on the Mark Nelson. Hey, good evening, Kevin Gerard. Looks like we may have gotten our level up program fixed thanks to Kevin Gerard. We'll see over the next coming days, but we have made some big progress here today. Looks like all the drivers have gotten to the grid. Pace car is rolling. DJ Kenner pulled off. The Iceman is dropping to the tail end of the field. Not sure what's going on. Yeah, Kevin, I actually believe the unicorn got some of that black mango tea ordered today. That is really good stuff. Now, the first couple laps, the cold tires will cause some problems out of turn 4. Likely to see some race cars getting very, very loose. That first couple laps out of turn 4 could see a little bit of excitement here. And here they come down the front straightaway. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at the Nashville Superspeedway. Race number 5 of the BRR Cup Series is underway. Mark Nelson quickly shooting into the lead. Kyle Holden slips underneath Jared Heasley up into second, but Heasley's building some run up top. Holden sends it deep into 3, gets it underneath Mark. Everybody makes it out of turn 4 this time intact. Kyle Holden goes to the lead. Kevin, you're absolutely right. Back through turns 3 and 4, Kyle Holden leads for the first time tonight. Everybody's tires starting to get some heat into them. A little bit more grip, but we'll see their fastest laps in the next couple of laps. After that, the tires are... Caution! Caution is out already on lap 3. Gerald Poole, Kevin Reed, and the Iceman involved. There's Thanos out of 2. Oh, Kevin is way out of shape. Comes up and gets the nose into Thanos. There's Kevin coming out of turn 2, just all out of shape, gets into Thanos. Kevin doesn't hit anything, but DJ had a wild ride back behind. Oh, the Iceman hard into the outside wall a second time. Not a great start for the Iceman here tonight. Kyle Holden in the lead, Mark Nelson in second, AJ Godsey, the defending champ, already up 4 spots, into third, Jared Heasley in fourth, and Michael Whiting in fifth. Mark D'Antuma already up 5 spots into 10th, Brandon Springer following him, up 6 spots into 11th, and Donald Durant's up 5 spots into 13th. Kevin Reed, Jeff Hinkle, Rick Sargent, all on pit road. DJ Kenner has already come and gone from pit road. Well, normally we talk about, and we mentioned it during the pre-race, about turn 4, and how often we see the cars getting loose out of turn 4 here at the Nashville Superspeedway, but tonight it's out of turn 2. A wild start to this one. Kyle Holden choosing the inside line. He will be in control of the restart. Here we go. Out of turn 4, pace car drops in. Holden can go once he's in the restart zone. Holden is in the zone. Green flag flies. He is away. And that opened the door. AJ underneath. Mark Nelson for second. Mark fights back up top. That outside line is definitely not where you want to be on the restart tonight, as it gets a little bit dicey mid-pack. Mark D'Antuma to the high side, trying to get past DP. A few cars mid-pack getting a little squirrely. Michael Whiting on the move, already up to 4th. AJ sits in 3rd. Still battling with Mark for 2nd place. Holden just set the fastest lap of the night so far out front. Richie West on the move, already at 5 spots into 7th. Starting to close the gap on 6th place, Jared Heasley. Heasley has been stuck on the outside on every restart so far and has just lost ground, has finally got himself down to the bottom, right behind Drifty Richie, trying to make his way back toward the front. Mark Nelson in second, just beat the lap time of Holden and is closing the gap. Mark, the only driver under the 30-second mark. Track temp and air temp still holding same as in practice. '83-degree track temp, 83-degree air temp. Now the track temp coming up at 84. Not a huge difference right now, but as the tires get old, it's going to get a little squirrely. AJ Godsey currently has a mirror full of Richie Joplin, Michael Whiting, and Jared Easley battling side by side for fifth. Richie West lurking in sixth, J.R. Tanksley up to seventh. Mark the Man Dantuma now up into eighth. DP Riggins Dantuma in ninth. DP in 10th, Brandon Springer up 6 spots into 11th. Donald Durant still marching his way forward up 5 spots into 13th. And caution is out, Dantuma's in the wall. Richie West is involved. Look like Donald Durant's caught a piece of it. Keep an eye on Richie West. Oh, he just pushes up into Michael Whiting. JR has nowhere to go. Donald Durant, who is back behind this mess. Oh, they were checking up. Durant's comes down. Rick Surgeon has nowhere to go. Durant's gets a hard hit into the wall. I suspect we will see quite a few cars in this time. Mark Dantuma is in. Jeff Hinkle is back in. Rick Surgeon is in. Kevin Reed, Richie West, and J.R. Tanksley, and to tow it to pit road. Jeff Hinkle has been in under both cautions so far, but has not been involved. I think he's just... Oh, it does look like he had a little bit of damage. He is getting repaired. Donald Durant has had a problem and towed to pit road. Durant had been involved in... Oh, looks like the car just gave up the ghost as he was trying to limp it back to pit road. Hopefully he'll get the opportunity to get the car fixed and get rolling. And it looks like JR's race is over. A heartbreaking night for him. DP Riggins is coming in unexpectedly. Donald Durant still sitting on pit road. DP just stopped in for fuel. J.R. Tanksley definitely having a rough night here tonight. I am so sorry, buddy. But hey, we will get to see JR back on track tomorrow night with Jones BS Racing at 9 Eastern. Lights should be going out on the pace car this time. The competition caution does return tonight, lap number 43. And meow to you too, Guru. Lights are out on the pace car. They stack back up side by side, getting ready to go back racing. Mark Nelson was the first driver to break the 30-second mark tonight. Now several have. As the sun goes down, should start seeing the track cool back down. Donald Durant is back out after repairs, several laps down. With the competition caution, Durant will get at least one of his laps back. Could tonight be his lucky night? Pace car is in. Green flag back in the air. Kyle gets another great launch to the lead. Mark Nelson holds on to second. Defending champ AJ in third. Jared Easley able to start on the bottom this time. Starts fighting up back into the top five. Brandon Springer has had a great run so far, already up 10 spots into 7th. DJ Kenner, Gerald Poole were involved in that earlier incident. Repairs have got them moving toward the front. J.R. Tanksley's car is repaired. He is coming back out. Currently showing 6 laps down, but before it's all said and done, you never know. We have seen folks come back from further behind. Speaking of coming back, Mark Dantuma involved in that last incident, back up into 5th. Richie West also on the move, up to 11th, right behind Mark Dantuma in 10th. Jeff Hinkle sits back in 12th place at the moment. Saw him in getting some repairs. He did not take tires. Mark Nelson is reeling Kyle Holden back in. They have pulled a gap. On 3rd place, AJ Godsey, 3/4 of a second. Drifty Richie currently in 4th. Jared Easley looking underneath Richie. Michael Whiting back in 6th. Springer in 7th. The top 7 have not been to pit road tonight. All the drivers that have been on pit road, as best as we can tell, have not taken any tires yet. They do have a limited number of tires, so they've got to make them last. And quite a battle going on back here around 8th place. Gerald Poole under attack. Mark Dantuma is there. Richie West, Jeff Hinkle are right there as well. DJ Kenner now to 9th, coming alive, reeling in Brandon Springer. Mark Dantuma trying to clear Thanos. Looks like he will out of turn 2. And Richie West may have the nose in when they get to 3. Drag racing down the front straightaway toward turn 1. Gerald's got a run up top. Oh, and a big run through 1 and 2. That high line in 1 and 2 is always insanely fast, but Richie manages to maintain pace with Thanos. Kyle Holden continues to lead 0.3 of a second, just a couple of car lengths. The rest of the field back behind is losing time. They know, though, that they're going to get a competition caution. These guys in the top 5 wisely just keeping things steady for the moment. Jared Heasley, Michael Whiting, they are not keeping it steady. They are closing in on Richie and AJ. Lap times have not dropped as much as we see here normally. Especially 29, 30 laps into the race. Kyle Holden's fastest lap at 29.92. Let's see what it is when he crosses the line. 30.14, only losing about 0.2 of a second a lap. Most of the field closely within that range. AJ and Richie still nose to tail. Heasley and Whiting closing in. DJ Kenner in 7th, also starting to move forward. Brandon Springer, Mark Dantuma, Jeff Hinkle round out the top 10. Richie West lurking in 11th. DP Riggins in 12th. JR Tanksley right behind. Having some connection problems, but he is flying. Michael Whiting is now looking underneath Heasley to take 5th. Heasley doesn't fight him on this one, slides back in line. That has allowed the Iceman to get within under a second. 10 laps away from the competition caution. These guys want to be as close as possible. The further forward they are after pit stops, the higher they are likely to be. But now Heasley's going to run underneath Whiting. Doesn't take advantage of it that time by. Mark Nelson is right back to Holden's bumper up front. Richie Joplin still right there with AJ. Heasley and Whiting still battling for fifth. Now the Iceman is in the mix. Jeff Hinkle has made his way up into eighth. We talked about it at the start of the race. He is the king of tire saving, and he is showing why. In fact, last time by, Jeff Hinkle was the fastest car on track. Brandon Springer in ninth, Mark Dantuma in 10th. You see JR on fresh tires, a freshly repaired car. He is trying to get himself unlapped. And he is flying through the field doing it. Albie Hewins, Kevin Reed way behind. Kevin was so fast in practice, but involved in that first incident, he has fallen way behind. Albie at the tail end of the field and 15th, close call. Rick Sargent couldn't find a way through that second incident. He is back in 14th. Gerald Poole now in 13th, DP up to 12th. Richie in 11th, Dan Tuma in 10th, but the man on the move is the 23 of Jeff Hinkle. Hinkle quickly closing in on the three cars ahead. DJ Kenner, Jared Easley, and Michael Whiting. Kyle Holden still out front, but AJ Gaudsey has caught up to the Mark Nelson. And something is going wrong. Looked like a moment ago, several drivers' connections went all sorts of wonky. Everything seems to have smoothed out. But that group back there battling, from 7th on back, things got a little sketchy. Jeff Hinkle has caught up to the Iceman as Tanksley shoots underneath to pass another car. You can see the difference fresh tires really make here. They may not be having as much fall off on the times, but JR is just cutting through traffic. Jeff Hinkle did lose a little ground to the Iceman there, and we will see the comp caution next time by. But as we go into the rest of this race, you know Jeff Hinkle will be moving forward and quickly. And Kevin Reed just went a lap down. He will be in the lucky dog position. Hopefully he can get that car onto pit road repaired and going again. There it is. Competition caution is out. A third of the way through the race. All the drivers will be in 4 tires and fuel. Most of these drivers will go 60 to 65 laps on a tank of fuel. So they will require one more pit stop, could potentially be 1 green flag pit stop. And here they come. Kyle Holden leads the field in. Kevin Reed staying out. He will get the lucky dog pass. He'll be waved back to the lead lap. And there he goes. He will have to use that fast repair on pit road this time. Right side of that car is a little banged up. Donald Durant will end up stuck a couple of laps down. Now, who will win the race off of pit road? Kyle Holden gets off pit road first. Mark Nelson comes off second. AJ in third. Drifty Richie in fourth. Michael Whiting in fifth. Let's see if we can get a word with the second place driver, the Mark Nelson. Marcus Doug, you got me?
I got you, Doug. What's up?
Hey, man, you've been just lurking behind Kyle. Is that all you got, or are you just not showing your cards yet?
I'm trying to make him nervous, and I'm also trying to figure out how to get around him.
It can be tricky with Kyle at times, but man, you've had a fast race car. You've dropped back a little bit and then run him down again a couple of times.
Yeah, it's really easy to gain and lose time on this track. Like, if you just miss your marks, you lose a lot of ground. It's kind of annoying, really, but one of my issues has just been not really being in the gear that I want to be on restarts, so that's hurt me a couple times, so I'm going to try not to ruin it this time.
Well, best of luck, buddy. You've had a great run so far. Hopefully you find a way past Kyle.
I'm going to sure try. Thanks, Doug.
I was going to talk to our leader, Kyle Holden. Does not look like he is available. No, does not look like we have Kyle Holden available at the moment to talk to, but Donald Durant should be waved around. This time he'll get one of his laps back, but he has not been to pit road. Yep, Donald has been waved around. He is going to hope for a quickie caution to get himself back on track to get to pit road. 4 tires and fuel. We saw JR on pit road. He was cutting through this field earlier on. He is still in the fight, trying to get back to the lead lap. Kevin Reed also back out on track. The car, it It does not look like the car has been repaired. I stand corrected. Maybe his car has been fixed. He does have 4 tires and fuel ready to go. Pace car is in. The comp caution is over. We could see green to the end from here. Green flag back in the air. They are back underway. Holden quickly clears into the lead. AJ slides down to the bottom. AJ already low. Ooh, a little bobble out of 2. Michael winding up in 5th. Heasley lost some ground on pit road. Jeff Hinkle, we saw. Oh! Mark Nelson in the grass with AJ. They're out of the racing surface. We will not get a caution. We'll take a look at the incident in just a moment, but now Richie Joplin into 2nd. Michael Whiting in 3rd, Jared Easley in 4th. Jeff Hinkle currently in 5th. And look who is lurking right behind. The Iceman cometh, and he brings Mark the Man Dantuma with him. Let's see what happened a moment ago. AJ side by side with Richie, gets a run out of the turn, just barely bumps Mark, but that is right at the point where these cars are just crazy loose. Both drivers regain the track and get going, but both drivers lose a ton of track position. Kyle Holden has the lead, but Richie Joplin is close to his bumper. And Michael Whiting is right there with him. Michael Whiting is often the quietest driver in the race, and you don't hear much from him until suddenly he is up battling for the win. Jared Easley back in the fight as well in 4th place. Mark Nelson in 13th place now trying to recover. AJ Gonzi in 14th. And Drifty Richie, big run out of 4. Does he have something for Holden? We saw Jared Heasley and Michael Whiting battling it out earlier on in the race. Now they're back together. Heasley on the bumper of Whiting. Will we see another battle here for 3rd? And 2 of the best long-run drivers in the business, Jeff Hinkle and DJ Kenner, sitting in 5th and 6th place. Jeff Hinkle, the king of tire saving, and DJ Kenner, the Iceman. These are 2 you do not want to see in your mirror at any point in a race, but especially when your tires start going away, because they still have some left. Mark Dantuma, the from the back master. Started in 15th, already up into 7th. And just worth noting, yeah, we talked about it in pre-race. Mark the Man Dantuma did that from the back challenge last season, raised over $350 for our MS Society fundraiser. But now on Thursday nights in home motorsports, Derek Schilling has stepped up to that same plate, and he is doing the from the back challenge. Huge shout out to Derek. Does appear Kevin Reed's car is running better. He's up to 11th on the bumper of Brandon Springer. Mark Nelson looking underneath Richie West for 12th place. And he is going to take it. AJ Gotze not far behind in 14th. J.R. Tanksley had a close call a moment ago. He has got an insane amount of speed tonight. Keeps running up and has to check up to not get in the bumper of the car ahead. Kyle Holden still has the lead. Richie has not found a way around yet, but Heasley now to third. Heasley's looking underneath Richie Joplin for second. And tonight could be a determining factor if we see Heasley here the rest of the season. And you gotta give a shout out to Jared Heasley, ran BRR for well over a year, did an amazing job. And of course, BRR would not exist if not for that 23 car. I'm sorry, the 5 car. AJ Gotze, who started BRR, it'll be 4 years ago next month. And Heasley just took second from Richie Joplin. Now the question is, can he run down and pass Kyle Holden? Now everybody was on pit road, lap 44. Everybody can go 60 to 65 laps on a tank of fuel. So everybody knows they will have to stop. A few drivers talked about a splash of gas, maybe right sides only. Tire strategy tonight could be huge. Richie going off into 3 and 4 was inches off the bumper of Heasley. Wow. DJ Kennard, the Iceman, now back up into 5th. But look who's marching once again. Mark the Man Dantuma up to 6th. And he's gotten past Jeff Hinkle. DP Riggins starting to make some moves. DP now up into 8th place. Gerald Thanos Poole currently runs in 9th, holding on to that top 10 run in the Navy Joe Coffee car. And you know, here at How to Suck at iRacing, we love us some Navy Joe coffee. If you want to give it a try, go order yourself some. Use code Navy Joe, all one word, to save 10%. And here we go, Heasley under Holden for the lead. This is the first real challenge Kyle has had since he took the lead early in the race. Whoa, they are close into 1 and 2. Holden got a little squirrely and is going up the track. Now Richie looks for second. Michael Whiting hoping that door stays open. It doesn't. Richie Joplin now to second, moves Holden back to third. And for the first time in quite a while, I get to say, Jared Heasley back in the lead in BRR. Albie Hewins is on pit road. Albie is retired from the race. Kyle Holden shot the gap under Richie as reclaimed second. Laps into run, about 25 laps in, and holy cow, what battling we are seeing. Holden sends it into 3 and 4, looking underneath. Jared Heasley, he wants the lead back. They head off into 1 and 2. Heasley up on the high side. Could Richie pull the same move to get to second? He can't do it this time. Holden back to the lead. Richie Joplin still lurking in third. Michael Whiting in fourth. DJ the Iceman Kenner in fifth. Mark Dantuma back to 7th as Jeff Hinkle has moved back into 6th. This is the point where Hinkle's car starts to come alive. He has been saving and making that car work. He is the king of tire saving, and he is about to prove why. He is closing the gap quickly on the Iceman. Kyle Holden back to the lead, but has not been able to pull much of a gap on Heasley. Richie Joplin still there. Michael Whiting still there. DJ Kenner just a little bit, about a half a second back. DP Riggins now up to 8th, trying to reel in Mark Dantuma. And he is just about caught him. DP closing the gap on Mark Dantuma. He's going to bring Gerald Poole with him. Mark Nelson back in the top 10 after that earlier incident with AJ Godsey right after the restart. Donald Durance is on pit road. AJ Godsey, after that incident earlier, back in 12th place. He is reeling in Richie West in 11th. Holden has opened up a gap. Richie Joplin is now taken second. Heasley in third, but Whiting is about there. And look who's there, DJ Kenner. And Jeff Hinkle is almost there. The Iceman almost got the run underneath Whiting. Easley looked a little squirrely out of 4 that time. And here goes Whiting underneath. Easley and Whiting had a lot of back and forth on old tires in one of the earlier runs. Fairly equal as here comes Whiting now to 3rd. DJ Kenner right behind Easley, and Jeff Hinkle has caught the lead pack. Meanwhile, Kyle Holden has cranked it up and is pulling away. He has a 2.5 second lead over Richie. Mark Dantuma in 7th, about 1.6 seconds back. DP Riggins, Gerald Poole battling it out for 8th. Mark Nelson is closing in on these two from behind. Whiting now looking for 2nd underneath Richie. Michael Whiting goes to 2nd place. Oh, Easley may have kissed the wall just a little bit out of 2. And it opened the door for the Iceman, DJ Kenner. Jeff Hinkle staying right on the bumper of Kenner, off into 1 and 2. And Jeff Hinkle now into the top 5. Kyle Holden's lead as they battle behind continues to grow, now almost 3.5 seconds over Whiting. Michael Whiting, though, pulling a gap on Richie Joplin already, as Jeff Hinkle now to 4th. Mark Nelson managed to get past DP and Gerald. He is now back up to 8th and sets his sights on Dantuma. If this race stays green, it's going to take Mark Nelson a miracle to get back up there battling for the lead. But you have to wonder, his comeback has been amazing so far. How far can he get? And now the strategy game begins. If you pit too soon, your tires are, the other guys will stay out, their tires will be faster, yours will wear out, and they will come charging. But if you stay out too long, the other guys just close the big gap. We know Holden is the kind of guy that likes to stretch it as far as possible. Jeff Hinkle is looking under Michael Whiting. He goes to 2nd. And Hinkle is gone. Michael Whiting has a problem back behind. Coming out of 3 and 4. Was he trying to get to... He was. He tried to get to pit road, but missed. A hard break for Michael Whiting as Dan Tuma goes to pit road. Michael Whiting, who had been battling up in the top 5, he is towed to pit road. And it looks like Michael Whiting has dropped out of the race. But the man who should be worried right now is the leader, Kyle Holden. Jeff Hinkle is 5.5 seconds behind, but at the moment he is faster and he is closing. Hinkle is known for saving tires and his long run speed. He is showing it tonight. Jared Easley still holds on to third, but DJ Kenner, Mark Nelson, Richie Joplin, all right there. As pit stops are underway, Richie West is in. Richie Joplin has lost a little bit of ground. He has dropped back to 6th. And I may have spoken a little too soon about Mark Nelson's comeback. Does he have a chance to close the gap? AJ Gonzi is in. Gerald Poole is in. Kevin Reed is in. Final pit stops underway at the Nashville Superspeedway. As Mark Nelson goes under Jared Easley. Mark Nelson back to 3rd. Kyle Holden's lead still holding about 5.7 seconds. He and Jeff Hinkle's lap times almost identical at the moment. Jared Easley is in. DP Riggins is on pit road. Rick Surgeon is in. Rick has had a really rough night, has been behind every incident so far, but keeps fighting his way forward. The top 5 cars, the only ones that have not pitted yet. Kyle Holden, Jeff Hinkle, Mark Nelson, DJ Kenner, and Richie Joplin. Are they waiting too long, though, as the drivers coming out of pit road are much, much faster right now? Mark Dantuma just turned a 29.97, over a second faster than the leader. Jeff Hinkle continues to stay out. Mark Nelson continues. Richie Joplin rather, stays out. DJ Kenner is in. And the leader is on the pit road. Kyle Holden is in. Jeff Hinkle is coming in. Mark Nelson is headed in. Richie Joplin is headed in. They will complete the cycle of pit stops. Now the question is, has Dan Tuma made up enough ground to come out of this with the lead, and will he have enough tire left to hold it? Kyle Holden rolls off pit road. Jeff Hinkle on his way out. Mark Nelson, Jeff Hinkle headed out. Richie Joplin headed out. Mark Dantuma currently scored in second. AJ Gauncey now to third. Jeff Hinkle comes out in fourth. Mark Nelson in fifth. But Gerald Thanos Poole goes by. Thanos to the top five. And AJ Gauncey back on the podium, at least for the moment. What a great move by both AJ and Mark Nelson to get back in the fight after that early incident. Right after the competition caution, and we went back to green. Those two got together, got loose, went through the infield, dropped way to the back, and both of them using fast cars and strategy back into the fight. Dantuma, AJ both came in. Mark Dantuma came in lap 85. AJ came in on lap 89. Jeff Hinkle, Kyle Holden, Mark Nelson all stayed out till lap 96. Same for Richie Joplin, who is now back in 11th. Do they have enough time with 10 to 15 laps, fresher tires to make the move to the front? Hey, good evening, Ryan. How are you? Kyle Holden's lead now 1.7 seconds over Dan Tuma. AJ Gauncey in third. Jeff Hinkle in fourth, but he's got Thanos on the bumper. And Mark Nelson closing in. Mark is bringing Heasley and DP Riggins and the Iceman with him. And let's not forget Richie West lurking in 10th. Kyle Holden opening the gap on second place, Dan Tuma. Gerald Poole pitted on lap 89, so Mark Nelson, Jared Easley, DP Riggins, DJ Kenner, Richie Joplin all have fresher tires. As here we go, Mark Nelson looks low to get back into the top 5. Mark Nelson back to 5th, Gerald Poole in 6th. What a turn of events due to these pit stops. You can go by the stats and go by the numbers. If you did, Jeff Hinkle and Mark Nelson will come up, who run in 4th and 5th, should come home 2nd and 3rd. But in 2nd and 3rd, you have Mark Dantuma and multi-time champ AJ Gonsey. Hey, good evening, Red Panda. Thank you for the raid. "24 laps to go. Everybody's got what they got from here." Unless a caution comes out, nobody will be back to pit road. DJ Kenner battling DP Riggins. DJ now to 8th. Richie Joplin versus Richie West. That is the battle for 10th. Richie Joplin, fresher tires. Looks like he is going to take it. Jeff Hinkle now into 5th. Mark Nelson into 4th. AJ Gonsey in 3rd. He is 3 1/4 seconds ahead. JR Tanksley back on pit road. And Kyle Holden continues to extend his lead. It is almost 5 seconds over Mark Dantuma. AJ Gonsey, Donald Durant's had come back to pit road. He is on his way out. AJ Gonsey is starting to close the gap on Dantuma. JR had not completed his final stop yet. He is on his way back out. JR will have the freshest tires on track. Donald Durant is back on pit road. He had just came off pit road. Could it be a penalty, or is something wrong with the car? Mark Nelson 2.5 seconds behind AJ Gonsey. He is closing in rapidly. 10-lap fresher tires making all the difference. DJ Kenner up to 6, not far behind Jeff Hinkle in 5th. And AJ Gonsey has gone to 2nd place. Mark Dantuma to 3rd. Mark Nelson less than 2 seconds behind. Jeff Hinkle back in 5th, just about a second and a second and a quarter behind Mark Nelson. Richie Joplin looking underneath DP Riggins. That is the battle for 8th. Richie's gonna take it. DP to 9. Gerald Poole has slipped back to 10th. Looks like he needs to put some more Navy Joe JP5 in the gas tank. AJ Gonsey pulling away from Mark Dantuma. Mark Nelson has him in his sights. Jeff Hinkle, DJ Kenner closing in. Jared Heasley starting to close. And Richie Joplin on a mission not many laps ago. He was back in 10th. He's now in 8th and flying forward. And Kyle Holden just out for a Sunday cruise. He has a 9-second lead over AJ. Tonight was Kyle's 4th start of the season. He already has 1 win. Can he pull off a 2nd one? Mark Nelson just got past Dantuma, up into 3rd. Hinkle closing the gap. Mark Dantuma still the biggest mover of the night, up 11 spots. AJ Gonsey in 2nd, older tires than the leader, unable to close the gap. But does he have enough left to defend? And remember what happened last time Mark Nelson and AJ Gonsey raced each other earlier tonight. They both ended up in the infield. Both drivers having an amazing recovery to be back on the podium. Kyle Holden, meanwhile, pulls away to a 9.1 second lead. The battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, though, still up for grabs. DJ Kenner now to 5th. Mark Dantuma losing ground. Richie Joplin closing in. Mark Nelson also has to worry about Jeff Hinkle closing in. 8 laps left to go. 7 laps left to go now. Kyle Holden has nothing to worry about at this point. Can Mark Nelson close the gap on AJ? Can Richie Jompla close the gap on Mark Dantuma? Jared Heasley is closing in on Richie Joplin as well. 6th, 7th, and 8th could see a last lap battle. Mark Nelson, though, 3/4 of a second behind AJ in closing. 5 laps to go. Kyle Holden now has over a 9.5 second lead. All Holden wants is green flag for another 4 laps. Mark Nelson has caught up to AJ. He has 7 lap fresher tires. Will it be enough? Three laps to go. Down the back straightaway, Kyle Holden coming to 2 to go. Does Mark Nelson have enough left to get around AJ? Does AJ have enough left to hold him off? Kyle Holden's only concern is what flavor ice cream to celebrate with. And here we go. White flag is in the air one more time around for Kyle Holden. He started in 3rd, took the lead early, and regardless of what has happened on track, he has controlled the race almost all night long. And out of turn 4, Kyle Holden will get his 2nd win of the season at the Nashville Superspeedway. AJ Godsey comes home in 2nd. The Mark Nelson comes home in 3rd. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Mark. Mark, that was one heck of a comeback.
Yeah, that was a lot of work, but it worked out. I got to go back and look at what happened exactly. I think I know, but I don't think I technically did anything wrong there, but I feel bad that AJ didn't have anywhere to go and he got wrapped up in it, but at least we ended up with good finishes.
You definitely did. You both had an amazing comeback with completely different strategies. It still worked out. How worried were you, though, on that last lap, or the last couple laps once you caught him, about having another incident?
Yeah, I was wondering if he was angry at me. That's honestly kind of what I'm wondering, and so I was not going to push the issue if I could help it. So I don't think that AJ would ever do anything to wrong me anyway, even if I did something to mess him up. But yeah, either way, it was a good battle, and we seemed to be around each other the whole race. So just wish I could have given Kyle a little bit more of a grief.
Well, a great comeback regardless. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
The other driver with the big comeback comes home in second, AJ Godsey. AJ, you and Mark have that incident right after the comp caution. Both of you have amazing comebacks.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Mark's a good driver, and I hated that for both of us. It looked like he got loose in front of me, and I just tried to get down under and got loose too. It was kind of like a tandem slide almost. From in-car, I haven't went back and looked at the replay yet, but I plan on doing that and talking to Mark afterwards. But, yeah, I'm just glad we both recovered from it.
Well, man, it was a great recovery. I think you two might have been the only two that had anything for Kyle tonight, but obviously that incident setting you back. Still, both of you completely different strategies. Making the comeback you did is really impressive.
Yeah, I just tried short pin because I figured I could hold on to my tires a little longer than most, so it worked out. But man, one more lap, Mark was there, so it would have been interesting. Been nice to see if either one of us did have anything for Kyle, but Kyle's a great driver, and so it'd been tough either way.
Well, man, a great job. One heck of a comeback. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Kyle Holden. Kyle, I have to say, you battled Mark most of the first half of this race. How much of a breath of relief was it when him and AJ went off track and you got some breathing room from him?
It was definitely wonderful. Wasn't really sure what happened to him there, so I just kind of asked him there and said someone got into him there a little bit and got him a little squirrely. But yeah, as soon as they were gone, I felt so much better. But I was hoping to have a good race with Mark.
Well, man, you just kind of checked out a almost 10-second gap there at the end. Your second win of the season. A great start to the season thus far.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were just trying to put down some heaters, trying to get as far away as we can. You know, we always use this league for a little bit of practice in the fixed set because our other league is open set. So it's definitely kind of nice to know how our car is going to feel and all that before that happens. But this is a couple weeks out now, so with the new schedule they got going on, so it's kind of nice to kind of jump onto a track where nobody's really too familiar with. You just kind of figure it out as the race goes on and see where you fall.
Well, man, great job. Great win. Congratulations back in victory lane, Kyle.
Appreciate it, Doug.
Thank you guys so much. Wow, what a cool race that was. If you've missed any of the races, you can find them on our YouTube channel. Also follow on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, everybody.